And we're the boys.
Yeah.
Oh, we're the boys.
Boys.
We're the boys.
We're the boys.
We're the boys.
We're
And
the
Dan
boys.
is a boy, and Mitch is a boy, and Chris is a boy, and Tim is a boy. And together we're the boys and boys.
Tim bop. Tim bop. Tim bop. Tim bop. Yeah, yeah. Tim bop. Tim bop. Tim bop. Tim bop. Yeah, yeah.
And welcome to the Boys Podcast. It's Chris Hawkins, Mitchell Villers, Sheri Hawkins, and Tim Hawkins.
Yeah.
We're here together.
No, it isn't.
We're just pretty much recording us having fun because, well, we just have so much fun that we thought we'd join you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's all take out our papers and follow the script. No, we have
Mitchell
nothing.
Viller. How is it going? Am I doing this right?
Yeah. Hello, Christopher. What's Hawkins? Hello, Christopher Hawkins. I am happy to see you. Why would it say shake hands? This is audio.
I would just like to point out that Mitchell was actually holding up an imaginary piece of paper as he was saying that.
Imaginary piece of paper. Come on, man.
I am a method
imaginary.
actor, okay? I use lots of method. It makes me do weird things.
Yes, yes. So should we explain a little bit behind the boys and how we came into fruition?
Whatever.
So go for it.
Oh, this is all being placed on me. Okay,
So the boys started.
here's the explanation.
So it's started and now it's here.
We're the boys. Oh, we're the boys. Oh, we're the boys. Oh, we're the boys. And Nana is a boy. And Mitch is a boy. And Chris is a boy. And Tim is a boy. Oh, we're the boys. And
We're the boys.
Yeah.
essentially, the reason why we're the boys is because we had a bachelor party for a wedding for a little boy named Tim. And at that bachelor party was
You
the
didn't come to mine.
groomsman.
Why'd you go to Tim's? He's not even your friend.
Tim Hawkins makes a great podcast, and I have to be there. And so at this bachelor party, the groomsmen were there, which consisted of, well, more than groomsmen, but the groomsmen who are the same people who are in this podcast, which is why this matters to say at all, is me, Mitchell Biller, Chris Hawkins, Sheri Hawkins, Timothy Hawkins. Remembered all of their names.
So I'm not typically a boy. What?
Yeah.
Typically? I
You
think
are
that's the wrong
not
word.
a boy.
Yeah.
But we thought it would be funny if she joined, if we could fit her into the bachelor party.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Because I was a
Or a
groomsman.
bachelor.
We created the song "We're the Boys" essentially to include her, to say like, hey, it's cool if you're a girl, you're still one of the boys. And so from that, when we decided to make a podcast, we're like, that's the perfect name because that
Yes.
essentially describes us. It's our crew having fun.
Yes, that's
And
exactly right.
Being accepting.
Yes.
Everyone except Luke. No, Luke's here. Luke's here.
No, he disqualified himself by saying no.
Yeah.
So we also have Luke Hawkins, my cousin here, but he decided not to join in on this amazing first podcast.
He's kind of a guest who'll probably walk in and out beatboxing every once in a while.
Yeah. If you hear like vaping in the background, that's probably Luke.
They're like, what's this? I hear a mist.
Do I hear fog in the distance?
I am your father.
Yo, that
Except it's different. The difference is we'll say Luke, and he'll be like, I am your father.
that looks like it's from a literal bar. Like the foam is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now you just need a knife to wipe off the top with.
Foam beautiful.
This is what we need video
So,
for.
by the way,
because-
yeah.
Yeah,
So
what do you guys not
Tim's
video
pouring
record?
a beer into this Stella Artois beer glass.
So Stella Art Toys has a really good toy section, and Tim is pouring the beer right into it.
It's a really fancy glass that he found somewhere.
Yo, Tim,
for
you've
beers,
got to get a knife and wipe that off. You got to do it all
Yeah, that's
professional like.
beautiful.
Yeah, he's
That's
got
got
the
some really
foam
nice
coming
foam
up.
on the top there.
He's got a ball of ice, a literal ball. It's about like an inch thick, and he's just pouring the beer onto
Wow.
We're all mesmerized and
Yes.
just ignoring the
it.
podcast.
We're just waiting. We're just waiting for it to fail.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's like, will
Waiting
it
for
spill or will it be the perfection?
Yeah.
I
We're waiting
got-
for it to like
it's got a
the foam to spill
purple-
over.
And you can't do that, otherwise it's cheating.
What? I can't blow on it.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
gotta let
cheating.
nature do its course.
Well, if you want to let nature do its course, then you have to keep pouring instead of stopping like some boys like, oh, I'm going to wait till it's smaller.
No, I'm gonna wait till nature takes its course. Is what I'm
nice.
saying.
That's beautiful.
I want to see you wipe it so much. You're just going to drink it and it's going to ruin it for me, but I
See,
want to
it's
see
at the exact 500. Ew.
Ooh.
Okay, that's not. Oh!
Oh!
He just wiped off all the excess
You get K-word.
foam on the top with his hand,
Instead of a
and
knife,
then he licked
it.
it off of his hand. That was nasty.
See, it's not that it's gross in
That
general, but it
was
looks
gross.
terrible.
It really did. Yeah. Yeah.
So now that this is off to a fantastic start, let's get into it. Oh wait, we're already in there. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the first topic? You know, I've always looked at plates.
Let's do a little bit more serious.
Well, I would like to
I've
point
always looked at cups.
out.
See, I disagree. You haven't.
I would like to point out. Okay, we
cups?
just had some friends down. We're currently at our family
Drug
house. our crack den.
We're at our hideaway.
I think it's not that.
And we had some people over, and they made this fantastic pineapple cashew chicken, which you put on rice. And so there's like leftover plates on the table, except Mitchell, you did not eat
Okay.
your pineapple.
I have a very valid reason for this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and this is...
That doesn't count, Mitchell.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so here's the reason, okay? I have a geographic tongue. If you don't know what that means, don't look it up.
Yes.
That was really loud.
So you're sensitive to
I'm in the middle of
textures.
the table.
Not even that. Like, I'm sensitive emotionally to textures. But with my geographic tongue, essentially
It
that
means
there's
that his tongue likes to travel.
See,
places it's.
Oh.
see how there's like holes? So essentially there's kind of like little cuts or like holes in my tongue.
It
And
looks
what
painful.
happens is when I eat certain things,
It
the
makes it
acid-
feel really good, and he wants to eat more of it. But the thing is, he's
Exactly.
training self-control.
Thank you. I couldn't have explained it better myself.
Is that really it?
No,
Okay.
what happens is
Yeah,
like
of course.
different like acid or spices like seep in, and then it like really triggers my tongue, and it like really like heats up. And so for like pineapples, for some reason, are one of the type of things that does that. Where when I eat it, it really seeps in. It like bothers my tongue very badly.
Oh, okay.
So I have a
Bananas,
legitimate
too.
excuse,
You
Sheri.
do. Yeah.
Okay.
I never said you didn't. I just was wondering why you didn't like
Judging
pineapple.
you.
Me too. Why did you eat a pineapple?
And
What'd you
everyone
do?
just became babies.
I really don't mind that you didn't eat the pineapple. I just thought it was
Except for
odd
Chris
because for
and
me,
Tim.
pineapple is the best part of the chicken cashew dish.
I love. Okay, this is going to be controversial, unless it's not. But I love pineapples on pizza, and so
Oh yeah.
in that case,
because it makes it just
All the
juicy,
time.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Come on, man.
It's not about the pineapple specifically. It's about that when you cook them in it, the juice of it like seeps into the rest of the pizza and it has a sweetness to it.
Okay,
that's
okay,
beautiful.
okay, no.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna make me puke. Okay, the
What?
only
What?
way you can put pineapples on pizza is if you like blend it, because I absolutely hate eating an awesome pizza with tons of cheese, biting into a pineapple and squishing, gushing weird.
You're right about the
Flavorful
texture.
nastiness.
Texture wise, pineapple
What
is
is
great on
happening?
pizza. I'm talking about the pineapples being cooked with the pizza, and therefore the flavor seeps
Yeah, just
into it.
take them off after.
However, what you're talking about, I think, is because you eat pizza that has like large pieces of pineapples. If
Yeah.
you get small enough pineapples on it, then it like you barely
Like,
notice
this
it.
is huge.
Yeah, if you-
Yeah, you
That'd be a
wouldn't have a
problem.
piece
I
that
would,
big.
be,
Yeah.
I would
Half
be
that.
okay with that.
That is what they are like. I don't
No,
know
they're
where you're
usually
going.
bigger.
They're like,
bigger
this
than
is like
that.
a quarter of the normal.
That's not
size.
even a piece of pineapple.
Yeah, no, but it's just a
Because
piece
it's
of
usually
pineapple.
long.
For everyone who's listening, Tim cut up a small amount that you wouldn't even be able to
It's like
understand.
4
us to-
grains of 4 grains of rice.
No, that would be that.
That's
one.
like
So
5
I'm
grains
talking about
of
this
rice.
one. This is what it usually is.
Yeah, that is what
See?
it usually is.
Because
the
it
size.
would be a little
Quarter
smaller
of
but
that.
No,
longer.
I disagree. It's more like
We're
Yeah.
cutting up
This-
the pineapple.
I feel like this podcast is going to be a lot
This
of disagreeing
podcast,
and
this podcast has just become useless because everything we're doing is visual.
It's true. It's true.
this
The
is
beer
brought
and
to you
now-
by
Congratulations.
Visual Entertainment.
Where nothing is visual, but we try to entertain you.
Nothing's visual. Nothing's entertaining.
We score on both levels.
See, in that way, it's like breaking the fourth wall. It's like you're expecting to be entertaining and visual, and it's neither. It's brilliant.
Tim's licking an ice cream sandwich right now.
If you're and this is the type of thing that we get to see every day. This is why we have so much fun. This is the type of content that made us go, we have to do a podcast.
Yes.
Because when we see Tim licking his ice cream cone, we're like, that is content for people to listen to.
That's
No,
That's right.
not that is content. Just
He
eat. But
is
I
content.
am. But I am content. Tim, just eat. Just eat.
Oh, I see. Yeah. People with
Yeah, that was
misophonia
beautiful.
are not going to appreciate you chewing into the podcast.
What's misophonia?
Misophonia is an actual thing.
Is it dis or misophonia?
Misophonia.
Misophonia.
If
Yeah.
you have misophonia, beware, do not listen to what we just listened to.
It's-
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, no, it's an actual thing where people who don't like hearing people chew or drink or the end of a glass when you're like through a straw, like
That's
those
the
kinds
best,
of sounds.
though.
They're really, really sensitive to.
What about
to
when you
sounds.
like?
It's an actual thing.
What about when you like blow bubbles?
Google it.
What if we blow bubbles? Is that like? I mean, because blow bubbles is so good.
Like blowing bubbles with a wand, or
With like a straw,
With your
in like milk or something.
yeah, that would probably
He's
trigger
blowing
misophonia.
his hands
'Cause
right
I don't
now,
have a
expecting
straw.
bubbles to pop up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I have gone?
delusional or psychopath?
Should I? Yeah, but on that
Neither.
topic, do you guys know what trypophobia is?
Trypophobia.
So not on that topic, but do you know what trypophobia is?
You're terrified of tripping because I do not have a good sense of balance, so I do fear tripping.
That's not it.
It's
I
it's
couldn't be more than
ability
far
to
off.
it's an ability to only trip
Stay upwards at all times.
when
You're
there
afraid.
is no reason for tripping.
What do you think it is, Chris?
Huh,
We've
okay.
had two bad answers.
Trypophobia.
Sorry, one bad answer and one wrong answer.
I don't know.
It's a fear of long trips.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No. So,
Road
well, all of
trypophobia.
those. I'll tell you what. Trypophobia has nothing to do with what it sounds like.
It's a phobia.
Like
of
most
something.
phobias, in fact.
Yeah.
What it is it's a fear. It's weird to explain because it's not an official fear, but lots of people are like, oh, I still have that, and I have that. And essentially what it is it's kind of like a fear of holes, like multiple holes. So kind of like a beehive type thing.
Yeah.
Like you see a beehive with like all of those holes.
Oh my goodness.
And like especially like there's different pictures online if you look it up of like holes like in the skin, and it's terrifying. Like
Well,
it's not even.
That's just terrifying.
See, but
on
that's the thing.
itself, But straws, on the other hand, is a good.
See, but it's not
Good
even
fight.
like real. Like it's
Straws?
people like just
Yeah,
making it look like
looking
that's the
at
case
straws
with like
scares
visual
people.
magic.
Right.
But it still like makes me go ah. And I don't want to go into too much, but like I think that for the reason why I am bothered by it is because whenever I see like holes like on the skin, I'm always like afraid of something
that
being
one?
in there,
Like,
right?
yeah,
Or
like
or even
burrowing into your skin.
yeah, or
Ooh.
even thinking of like feeling it and like
Yeah.
it moving,
But that's
and, like right. It's creepy.
Oh, that's like scabies. Scabies are like bugs
Yeah,
that
you
like
had
are
that, didn't you?
underneath. No, I had ringworm.
That's
when
like
I lived in the
botflies.
Dominican Republic. But no, it's like bugs that you can see underneath the layer of your skin, and you can see them.
Yeah, but
And if you want to be part of the crew, you can like cut yourself, pass it on.
Oh God,
the
it's so
phobias,
gross.
what are they? Like, are they
Fears.
Fears.
It's just fears.
Phobia literally means fears, but
Alright.
essentially it's like
That's what is
it's more than just fears because fears can be
We're
like, oh,
gonna
I'm
do
afraid of this
something
one thing, but
different.
phobia is like a fear of a common thing.
Right. So how do you feel about Swiss cheese?
See, it's not like
a mouse is gonna jump out from your mouth.
see. I would say most things I don't have a problem with.
Right.
Like if I'm not gonna look at a tennis track and be like, ah, like most things I'm perfectly fine with. It's whatever
Straws.
it's whatever holes and a pattern of holes
Right.
is in some way attributed to like people and like flesh
What
that
about
I like.
stars?
Really
Well,
well.
that's
Actually, there's a thing I
obvious,
was
though.
actually
That's
I'm
like
gonna show you
anything that
something.
reminds me
So,
of something
Mitchell
being under
just
my
left.
skin. Well, that's creepy no matter what.
Yeah, I know. Like that, everyone
Like,
would be scared of that.
That's not even. It's not. What I would say
Not
a fear
everyone.
of that would be was
This
like.
actually bothers me
Oh, interesting.
because this actually like when I see that
now
like
explain
one I
what
see.
it is for our
Okay,
listeners.
I have no idea, but it's like
so it's like a dried up flower that has
giant
holes in it,
that kind of look like a space rock
Yeah.
full of craters.
Maybe we'll take a picture and
Yeah.
like
Nah,
this is a
let's-
podcast.
Yeah,
That
let's
doesn't make
not
sense.
do that.
But essentially, like what makes me weirded out is one, there's seeds inside of it, so that makes me think of like something being inside of it.
Yeah.
But two, like because of the color and the way the holes are, it makes me think of like being on your skin and that type of thing. And
Yeah.
just that like creeps me out. And I
And
specifically
it looks dead. Like it does look creepy actually. I
Right?
totally see why that bothers you. Yeah.
You know what I think
Oh,
I
phobias
choose not
are?
to let
I
that.
think I've come up with a new thing of what phobias are. They're
Let's
just
drop
a thing that people focus on so much that it creeps them out. I mean, like if you don't look at the flower, it'll never creep you out. You know what I mean?
in that particular case. But,
Yeah, but
I
some
know
other
not- maybe
cases
not in all
it's different.
cases,
Like
but-
maybe just something that happened in their childhood made them scared of the holes or something, and then like looking at straws. Do you have that problem? Straws?
no.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Well, I know
have
someone else that has
aerophobia.
trypophobia. And
I love straws.
when she looks at straws or beehives or whatever.
I actually almost
like,
get
it scares
itchy
them
from it
so
happening.
much.
Well, at beehives, there's a reason.
Yeah, I know,
for
but
being
straws,
afraid.
a bunch of straws in a bundle because it's just the holes. It's just all the holes.
Right.
It
I
looks
don't know
like-
what
And
is.
I mean, there's some things that
tricky.
you can avoid, but like for me, like I have claustrophobia, and
Me too.
I can't.
All
I
right.
hate classes too.
No. No. It's
Claustrophobia.
clauses.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
clauses. The from punctuation.
Yeah, clauses. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, but like I can't avoid like driving in a car or being in an enclosed space. Like so, it's something you have to overcome. Where there's certain things, if you have a fear, you can avoid it for the most part. But sometimes there are things that you
Unless
can't
you have a
avoid.
fear of heights and then you are made to go to France, you know?
Right. So
I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of falling from heights. And from when I see heights, I immediately just imagine falling for some reason.
Right.
Because it's weird, because like, for some
Free
reason,
falling.
whenever I'm high up, I could just be like, oh, don't even think about falling. But immediately, whenever I look down from a height, I'm like, what if I fell? What would that be like?
Right.
But I just said that he's both.
You have a beard.
Yeah, you have a beard.
Now you're just saying things about me. Hey, you're a fat kid bouncing a basketball.
You have to tell that story. It's so funny.
I don't know.
Alright, so here's the story, everyone. So the reason I said that is because one day, long ago, one day I was walking to my friend's house, right? And I was bouncing a basketball. I think you can see where this is going, kind of. But I was walking
You were
to...
like scrawny then.
I was small and fat, yeah. So I was bouncing the basketball and walking to his house, and these kids were, and I didn't tell you the funniest part, but these kids were walking on the other side of the street, and they look over, and this one kid's like, "Hey, look, it's a fat kid bouncing the basketball." And I found it hilarious because I was like, is that the best you could do? I mean, you're literally just describing what's in front of you. You're like, oh no, insult, quickly. Fat kid bouncing. Look, fat kid bouncing basketball. It's like if they were like, I walk by and be like, he's got a beard and shoes.
That's so funny.
It's hot. We got him. But the part
That's it. We got him.
the part I didn't tell you guys is that this kid who was like yelling this at me, like he has like those type of glasses that make his eyes look like huge, and he looks like a total nerd. Right?
like telescopes.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up like
And I'm
weird
just
bitch
like,
photo.
but he's like walking like with his hat on sideways, like swagger, and he's like, "Look, there's a fat kid bouncing the basketball."
I like you'd think that he would have been on the receiving end of some teasing in his life from his glasses. Like,
And then
he
he's
should be
like,
the last
I
one
know
to
how
just
to
get
do
out."
this pretty good.
Yeah.
I've heard insults all my life. I can do it.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Analyzing.
Basketball fact. It's like he was walking, and they're like, "Yo, show us one of your cool insults." He's like, "Oh no, fake basketball."
There's someone I can make fun of. I know how to do this. That guy is fat and he's bouncing a basketball, guys.
I mean, to be fair,
God.
maybe he was just making sure his eyesight was working.
Oh. what 15 years.
That took me 15 years to come up with.
Good for you, Mitch. Good for you.
I'm gonna like go to his house and be like, well, maybe it was your perspective, and I'll get it wrong. And I'll be like, your perspective, and you got it right. And he's like, what?
Hey, eyesight. You actually saw a fat kid bounce in the basketball. You'll be like,
But I'll have to like show up to his house bouncing a basketball. Be like, I am a fat kid bouncing a basketball. You got good eyesight.
Watch him end up being this like huge jacked guy now with like no glasses and is like, hey.
Or even worse, he's like the super loving husband with like 5 kids who all love him. And I'm like, ah! And then his kids run up, they're like, who's this mean, scary man, daddy?
And then he's a guy I made fun of back in high school.
And then I'm just like staring, I'm like, no, I'm not the bad guy, he's the bad guy.
It's okay, honey.
He's like,
just go back
you
inside.
stalked me down and came up to my house. I'm like, no, it's...
You wrecked 15 years of my life until I understood you had bad eyesight.
Then over the next 15 years, I'm like getting a bigger family and becoming a nicer person. I'm like, ha! I'm a better person than you.
My kids are more functional. My kids are happier and more well-adjusted. Serves you right.
As they run around setting things on fire, and his kids are just quietly sitting there.
All of my kids are fat kids bouncing basketball.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, shoot.
This turns into like a turf war between like the eyesight people and the basketball.
So what is like one of like the worst insults that you've ever been
Like worst
dealt?
like hurt you the most inwardly,
Yeah.
or worst
I don't
like
even want to think
that
about
was a terrible insult.
Like either way, like something that you remember, whether it was funny or like genuinely hurtful.
That might be it, but I could think harder.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
It's from you.
That makes sense. I'm a big bully. I was petty for 15 years until I finally found something
tearing
good.
up. There's drips going down.
Yes.
Oh.
He started
I'd give
to
him a
cry.
hug, but they couldn't see that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Deep secret.
You called me tall.
If you didn't hear that, you just said you called me tall.
And that's when you go, your perspective for a fat kid bouncing basketball.
It just passed on, didn't it?
Oh,
See, that's the thing. He heard a joke like that, lash out to me. I heard that joke, lash out to Tim.
yeah. That was good.
Who
stuff.
did you bully?
Me.
Yeah, probably.
What happened, Chris?
He wouldn't let me play with him.
This is getting
He
dark.
always cried, saying that he wanted to play with me, but then whenever I tried, he just walked away crying. So.
Oh.
What about youth group?
Sibling
Dude, I
rivalry.
wasn't talking about real life. I
No.
was just making it up.
Well,
But this is
What
the
about
matter.
youth group? What about youth
What
group?
about
Dude, I wasn't
he
even
wouldn't.
being
He wouldn't let
serious.
me go to youth group with him whenever I went to youth group because I was like a year younger. Because it was his friends, and he would always like leave or just wouldn't want to be near me in youth group.
I didn't know. I don't know why.
So that's the
I think
worst
I was running away
insult.
from home.
Is being shunned by your brother in public.
I'm sorry.
But then I got cool. I forgive you.
Then I got cool.
So he admits
Just,
it's his fault.
totally insult me, just like, you're only liking me now because I'm cool.
And Tim made it all about himself.
Once I got older, we
Tim's
started
like, well,
hanging
this
out
is
better.
really against me because you're saying that I only befriend cool people, so.
Exactly. Okay.
Glad we got that back.
I've done that before.
What's that?
Repeating
I shunned Ashley in high school, like completely.
I think.
See, it's just like an older brother.
My
thing.
brother.
See, but I
did
shunned
me
my
too.
sister, and I'm younger. Well,
I'm
I'm older.
Depends if you look at it.
How you look at it, yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
depends
I
on-
think that's a sibling thing. You just naturally feel like kind of embarrassed of being around your siblings out in public.
Yep.
My
That's
brother
bad.
started
Until
with
they're
that
cool,
way,
apparently.
No. My sister never got. No, I'm just kidding.
too. Oh,
But
sorry, Michelle, if you're hearing this.
What I
that's not
did
nice.
learn
Oh,
is
we'll
that
totally tag her. This is good
like
stuff right
you,
here.
you got like you gotta learn to defend your close ones. You know, you gotta. There needs to be that family that comes first. Like regardless of like, oh, I want to seem cool in front of people. Like you're with your family forever. These people you're probably not going to see after high school.
That's right. And the thing is, like, even though my brothers were and fair enough, like they were like 7 and 5 years older than me, and so I was like significantly younger than them, and so they naturally sort of paired up and became buddies. So I really was the younger, but if anybody ever picked on me, like they would take huge issue. So even though like they were embarrassed of me, you know, as a kid, like if anybody ever picked on me, it was like, okay, now you're messing. Messing with.
So we're the only ones allowed to beat up our sister.
Yeah,
It's literally that
exactly.
situation.
And that's how it should be. You know, like I think.
Siblings should be the only people allowed to beat up their younger siblings.
Exactly.
Okay, it's hierarchy.
Did you hear that, Mark?
No, I mean like you should be protective of your family.
You know, you
I agree.
actually you were onto something there. Because families, in a way, are, like, kind of there to help you grow, right? And the thing is, you grow when
They're literally your roots.
Well, one thing, you grow when you go through hardship.
Mm-hmm.
And so your parents are there to support you, and your brothers and sisters are there to annoy you so that you run to your parents, get support, so that you can then handle life when you leave the house.
Yeah.
I find because like I haven't really known any like siblings that just like automatically love each other right from birth. There's always those fights that come along the way sooner or later.
But you kind of need them in order to learn how to deal with conflict when you get older.
Yeah, and
trust.
the point is that in the family you're forced to work through it because you're stuck with the person every day.
Right.
That's right.
Compared to bullying, bullying is
Right.
outside of the house. You can avoid the person and maybe go through your entire life never seeing the person.
Oh,
again.
mind blowing.
But you're forced to grow because you're forced into just like a marriage situation because you're stuck with the other people.
I wonder
That's
if that has to do with like all the divorces. If it has to do with the family and like not having good, not being healing while going through conflict when you're children or something.
Well, also the
You know,
parents
like-
not being able to give the right advice because I find a lot of people don't even have the advice to give. You know what I mean?
As parents.
Just like
That's the
Because
thing.
they're dysfunctional
That's the thing you
themselves
have to
and
learn
gone
when you're a
through their
kid, which is that your parents are
things.
people. Like, because we look at them and
As
we're just
they're
like,
superheroes.
hey, you always do things right, therefore you should know what to do.
that's
And they're people trying to figure out what's going on like us.
Yes.
And now that we're of the age where they had kids
Mhm.
and we
Oh,
don't
it's
have
so
kids,
weird. It is
we're
so
essentially
weird.
like,
Oh.
we would have no idea what we're doing at all. We don't even know how to control our own lives.
Good
well
thing
enough
we
at
don't
this
have
point.
kids.
Yeah.
love.
And speaking from a perspective,
Easy.
guys.
and speaking from a perspective, like I'm 20 years older than all of you guys, and it doesn't change. You never really feel
You never really grow up.
like you've got it figured out. Like even if I was to have a kid now, I would still feel like really lost, and I wouldn't know what I was doing. So I don't think that feeling ever goes away.
I think
But
that's a part of life.
when you're a kid, your parents are kind of like your role models, and like you said, they always do everything right. But as you get older, and especially now you're all almost in your 20s, Chris just turned 19, but like now you're starting to realize, okay, like my parents are people, just like us. And then your relationship sort of adjusts, and you start to see them more as your friends, and as opposed to this like, godly figure where, because you really do sort of like
See,
think that
when
your
you're
parents
young-
can do no wrong.
When you're young, you're like, these are gods.
Yeah.
And then when you get teenage, you're like, are you guys?
Yeah.
We'll see. and you go from thinking they're
think I'm
gods
better
to
than
thinking
you.
they're nothing to
Yeah.
realizing they're human.
That's
so you go
right.
from
It's
being
true.
like, you're in charge and the best, to being like, why are you in charge? To being like, oh, you're human and I should like actually treat you good.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah.
So now that was like a little rant.
It was
Cool.
good. I liked
It was a beautiful conversation that we'll cut out, and this is a funny podcast, okay? No serious stuff here. No loving our parents and siblings. Get that out of here.
No, the point was chaos and hardships and annoying little brothers and
that's what
sisters.
you can expect from this podcast.
He was literally saying all of that just to say, therefore, it's all right for me to not like Chris because siblings have rivalries. Therefore, it's okay that I was mean to Chris.
No, but it's proof that our parents gave us good advice because now we're best friends.
Yeah.
Aww.
And you think about Sheri and how she was telling the story about her brothers taking care of her and like in the way of like, you know, no one messes with her.
Yeah.
My parents said the same thing about Tim and me, so like it totally got passed down from you and your brothers.
I think it's like an intuitive feeling. I think it's sort of like inbred a little bit into your way of thinking that this is my sister, this is my brother. I'm allowed to pick on them, you can't, kind of thing.
And that,
The only problem is
that's the
Chris
thing.
would never tell me anybody that was bullying him, so I never got to beat anyone else.
See, that's the thing. You're not
Poor
protecting them out of love. You're protecting them because you're
Out
territorial.
of instincts, yeah, exactly.
You're like, this is my property,
Yeah.
okay? I'm gonna pee on it. You stay away. And that's why at the wedding, Tim actually ran around trying to pee on Chris.
at the dance party only.
That was a date.
What? Why did I miss seeing this?
You were there.
There,
You
Mitchell
said
was like, now,
Because remember-
like dancing,
okay,
pretend
so
to run
this is
around
what we
pee on
did.
Chris, and I was like,
So
I was just jumping around.
while they were dancing, like we started creating dance moves of just doing random
This
things.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
great.
It
And
was
so-
the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, so what we did is we
So
started telling
set it
them
up.
things to
Mitchell
do.
and I are sitting by the side of the dance floor. Chris and Tim are dancing. And at first they were doing like the regular types of dances, and now continue.
And then we started telling them things to do, being like mow the lawn, shovel snow, sweep up the yard, like
Have a
or
snowball
sweep-
fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I kept trying to see crazier and crazier. So when I was like, Tim's climbing a ladder and Chris is pushing him because I was like, they're not going to be able to do that. And then they did it, and I was amazed. But then I was like, Chris, throw a stick to the dog. And then I don't know why, but Chris automatically assumed that Tim was the dog, and so he threw the
No, I'm
stick
pretty
and had
sure you
Chris.
said it, didn't
Oh,
you?
I did. But then Tim runs after the stick and brings it back, and then he keeps doing that. And I was like, now Tim's tired of his owner and like tries to pee on him. So then Tim chases Chris around the dance floor, to like lifting his leg up whenever he gets down.
My favorite was pretend that you've put a bag of dog poop on your neighbor's doorstep, and you've rung the bell and ran away, and they're stamping it out.
Like he legitimately turned to his scene. He went over to his starting position. He like opened the door. And he's like, "Why is no one here?" He looked down. He's like, "What's going on? It's on fire! I gotta step on it."
So he jumps on it. He starts jumping.
Yeah,
and
it
doing
was
the tap
so
dance.
good.
Then he's like looking at his shoes. And he's like wiping it off and throwing it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was highly entertaining. I think your Uncle Steve was there too, and he was getting a huge kick
Yeah.
out of it.
And he did the thing where he was like, "Hey Tim, do the go find my bride dance," and he was saying that to be like, "Hey Tim, go dance with your bride."
right.
And then Tim literally starts looking for her as if like it's the thing, and he's like, "Where is she?" He walks around the dance floor looking, and then like Steve's just like, "I give up." And Tim's like still looking, and they're like, "Well, I guess he won't find her." He's like, there she is," and they're like, "Oh, it's worked." So he starts walking over, turns around, comes back to where we are to get more instructions.
because he completed his task of finding his bride on the
He's like, "I won. What's next?"
Oh shoot, that was really fun. Your wedding, both of your weddings actually were really fun.
Thank you.
And if you
want
want to watch those
I'm
clips,
glad we both.
Ooh,
got
nice
married.
segue. Nice.
if you want to watch those clips, you can go to Desperate for Attention. I think it's called The Wedding in
Desperate for
France.
attention.
No, it's called Tim et Olivia.
It doesn't matter. You just
Le
look through the
mariage,
videos
but
and
yeah.
you'll find the wedding footage.
No, Le Mariage de Tim et Olivia.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll link our vlogs. Tim, Mitchell, and I vlog. And Tim started. We could talk about that.
Yeah, it's Desperate for Attention.
Yeah, I'll link it in the description of all our channels.
Oh.
So how did Tim start vlogging and then get us into it?
What?
I'll tell you that story.
Actually, Mitchell would know.
Oh. Yep. Tim's trying to put a cup in my cup. Okay.
No. Tim's telling the story. I don't know.
Mitchell would know.
So one day Tim was like, I should start vlogging and then get Mitchell and Chris to do it.
Okay, this is the
Wow.
thing. When we were kids,
Oh.
we... Why do I have to tell this?
Because I don't
it's
know
your
the story.
So when we were kids, we always talked about making movies, and we made a couple of movies. What?
If I tell
Go check out
you
Tim at
my
TV.
story, it would be...
It'd take 10 years, which is about to happen.
Oh, jeez.
And we're actually starting that now with
So-
Tim at TV.
So yeah, well, we always talked about making videos, and we're starting it now with Tim at TV. We haven't really had the first video come out yet, but it's coming out soon, I'm sure.
Or it's already out.
Probably. You were posting it.
No, but
No,
I
it's
might
probably-
post it before this goes up.
Yeah,
Unless
I
it's
guess
going
I
up
have no
tonight.
idea. No,
Okay.
probably not.
So this went up. Anyway, so then. What happened was I was like, oh man, like we don't make videos, and I've gone my whole life with like we're not like I feel like we're not going anywhere, and I like making videos to learn how to make videos, and Mitchell likes learning how to make videos and then making videos, good videos, and so I'm kind of like, I want to do something, and then I was like, I'm starting to travel like crazy right now. I don't have a job. Like there isn't like there's things I can do, but when you do this kind of a mission, like going to different countries to like help people, you have a lot of time on your hands, and there isn't much to do with it, and oftentimes you can't be on Facebook or whatever. It depends what you're doing. Anyways, so I was like, well, I actually want to like take people along, and people don't like I don't usually get to tell my story when I get back home, so why not bring everyone with me? And then I started doing that, and like I tried to make vlogs at home before, and I always like took the vlogs but never edited it, and I was like and so I was like, okay, I gotta make this happen, and I started to like make the vlogs of this one certain trip, which was France, going to France. And so then when I started doing that, I was like, wow, this is like you can actually do this pretty fast. Like I can make a vlog sometimes in half an hour to an hour, and like I was and then sometimes it takes 6 hours. Well, anyways, but I was like, okay, I can do this, and I was like, well, I'm sending all these videos online, and I'm like, well, I want to know what my family's doing. So I was like, and like Mitchell, I consider you family. So, and like Mitchell, I was like, Mitchell, I wanna see your like college life. Like I wanna see a day in your life. I wanna see what's going on, because like you've lived this whole journey in college, and like I didn't get to go live with you like I always wanted to, like in your apartment for a couple days here and there. But like, so I was like, Mitchell, start taking vlogs. It's easy. Just do it. Just like record yourself talking. And I guess my salesmanship like sold him.
And I just talked.
And he basically just talked at first, and now he's
persistence.
persistence.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely
100%.
persistence, not salesmanship.
Like, it was like 70 times me being like, no, Tim, I don't want to. No, Tim, I don't want to. No, Tim. And then he's like, Mitchell. I'm like, fine, I'll do it just one time and I don't care.
I'll do it one time. Oh, okay. I guess I can do that more. Okay. I guess I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Chris joined in too.
And then I was like,
And then both Tim and I ganged up on Chris.
Yeah, both of us kind of were like, man, like Chris is like a crazy YouTuber. He's got lots of people. He's made YouTube videos before, I was thinking, and he has, and his channel's Mother Cell. And and he was gaming.
I did video game channel because I just played lots of video games when I was younger, so I'd do lots of Tim's just spinning a glass on the table if you're
it's a
wondering
beer
what that
glass, and I'm hoping
that
someone will
noise
fill it
is
up.
if it was going on the mic. And yeah, so I'd just record my screen and talk, and I'd have live streams, and I'd talk with friends on Skype, and that'd be on the videos. They weren't really good. I wouldn't say they were really good.
Well, he
but
got like thousands of viewers.
Are
No.
any of us making
No.
things that are really good right now?
I made like $6, so that's pretty sick. You know,
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. After the whole
Nice.
thing, and
Nice.
You can buy like a chocolate bar.
pretty much is from the streams. Streams is definitely where you make money on YouTube, because you just have people on for hours watching you play, and you can just keep playing ads like every 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, and rather than your little clips of YouTube videos or whatever, they'll watch like two different ads, and this you hold them in. So that's kind of a big difference. It's so much fun playing with streams, man. We played what was it? Argario all together, and we would stream it as well. So then we would have the not the podcast listeners. What am I saying? We'd have the YouTuber little mother cells going around, and they would follow us and feed us, and they would protect us, and we just have this. We'd fill the whole entire leaderboard.
What happened?
We were streaming, and they were like, "Oh, we'll go on and name ourselves Mother Cell or whatever."
Well, what happened is we started by doing the Boob Brothers, and then and then when we started getting really good and being near the top, other people started calling themselves Boob Brothers, and then coming and joining our team and like helping us beat other people. And then when he named himself Mother Cell,
there's no reason why we named ourselves that. We just thought it would be funny because you could have the left boob and the right boob.
Yeah,
but I guess that's kind of bad. But
then Chris called himself. Then Chris called himself Mother Cell, and I think that was the origin of the name for your channel. But then you called yourself Mother Cell, and you were going around, and we called ourselves Cells, like Cell 1, Cell 2, and then other people started calling themselves Cells, and then you were the main Mother Cell.
Exactly, that was the idea. So everyone would want to be giving me food because I'd be the Mother Cell. I'd be the mother, so I'd be the big one, the massive one, and then I'd just help out all the small ones. So we would easily dominate in streams, since I did it like every day for hours before when I was in school. We would fill up the leaderboards with the Mother Cell, and then we would just dominate it. It would be getting a little easy and kind of boring because we would just be dominating the whole entire map, and then we'd move to different servers. But there's not many times that you guys played with me on that.
So now that you know about Chris's channel, what we did was we were like trying to push him because he stopped posting videos of video games because he stopped playing video games, and we then tried to convince him to get back into YouTubing, but a different area of YouTubing, which is vlogs.
Yeah.
And so I told him, hey Chris, like, look, I know the most efficient way to make vlogs. You take the video on your phone, put it straight into like iMovie, and then as you take the videos, you can like edit the vlog, and then by the end of the day or the week, you just push post. And I don't even know if he's actually doing that, but I convinced him, as well as Mitchell.
Yeah, that was pushing. That definitely didn't just convince me.
No. I'm the persistence and Mitchell and everyone like constantly saying, "Do it."
See,
and he said as soon as he made the first few vlogs, he was like, you know what, I could keep doing this.
Yeah.
Well,
and now we're stuck with it.
I think the thing is, and what you told me, Chris, is that it. And I actually had done a week in my life for a friend of mine, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be the most boring thing ever. And what it really does is it gives you an appreciation for your life, for the little simple things that, the people that are in your life, the little things you do that you take for granted. It really, when you actually see it back, you're like, I have a pretty good life, like I have. But like it does. It gives you, and then you're able to also have your own sort of scrapbook of your life, so you can look back on it and say, yeah, that was really fun, and a whole day can be edited down to 2 minutes, but you're taking the special little moments that you would have otherwise forgotten about.
Yeah.
And that's what I really appreciated about it, was it gave me a sense of appreciation for my life.
Yeah, it's cool because those 2 minutes are like really cool things.
Yeah.
And so you're like, wow, I look like a really interesting person.
I look like an you are an interesting
No,
person.
and then I look like I've done things with my life.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I went to France and looked like I was doing things
I'm
with my life.
I'm talking about the theory, okay, guys, not me. So the theory, the fact that you can even take a month, and if you take 1 minute and do 10-second clips of the different things you did that were like going swimming at the beach.
Right.
I went to 3 different beaches that month, or 2 or 1, and like did different things. Then all of a sudden at the end you can see and be like, oh wow, like that. Even though like all the rest of the time could have been like me not doing anything with my life. There's like 10 things that I did that were actually like cool.
And that's
like,
just you living your life. It's not like you planned to, oh, I'm vlogging today, I better go to the beach. It's like you went to the beach and then you're like, you recorded it. So it's like these moments that you would have otherwise forgotten, taken for granted, or not realized they were anything special become little moments.
And it's cool because instead of pictures, like you'd want to take pictures at an event, well, you don't capture the emotion in the moment, but I find when I look back at a video, even if it's 10 seconds, I capture the whole, like, what was going on back then. I'm reminded of my mindset. Like, everything comes back. Compared to when I look at a picture, it's so still that it's like, oh, I see that I went to that beach. I don't remember what happened, you know?
Right. Now, this is a completely different topic.
Thank goodness.
But we talked about this a bit last night, but I want to know...
Adult diapers!
No kidding, we actually did talk about adult diapers for
like
about 20
40 minutes.
Yeah,
And then
really
I
long
lost
time.
the footage.
Yeah.
So you'll never hear that intriguing conversation.
Which is probably to your benefit. So
Chris was
we
like, "What?"
we were listening... Chris was in bed. This was like at 2 a.m. Last night.
He was who we were talking about.
Yeah, I was telling this story about us wearing headbands and you having the diaper.
Yeah, that was depressing.
Anyway, on our way up to the farm a couple days ago, Chris and I were listening to some Tim Hawkins, the other Tim Hawkins. We have a Tim Hawkins on our podcast, not the same
We have
guy.
2 Tim Hawkins.
But we were listening to
Potty Break
by Tim Hawkins.
Don't look it up. Say with our Tim Hawkins. Or tell him about us.
Yes. But he was saying that girls don't find Monty Python funny.
It's a lie.
And
no, he didn't say that.
What did he say?
He said he hasn't met any girl that's found Monty Python funny, and if you are a girl that finds it funny, tweet me up because I haven't found any.
But
what's wrong?
She couldn't believe that.
I couldn't believe that.
She's like, what? How do you not know? Like Monty Python's so funny, and I love Monty Python, so girls have to find it funny.
Okay, but if you think about it, if he had 2 girls as his kids,
yeah,
he would be surrounded by other people that are girly, and you grew up with 2 brothers,
right?
which means you'd be a bit more different. Maybe.
You're part of a podcast called TheBoys Podcast.
I know! You can't even say anything.
But the thing is, at first I was like, because he even started off with saying, this might sound sexist, but... And
which is always a good start.
Yeah, you know, it's like saying, I don't want to be inappropriate, but... Yeah, when there's always a but, it's probably... not good. But anyway, he was saying that, and I was like, so offended. But the thing is... when I actually started like thinking, because I watched Monty Python in like 1991 with my friends from high school, and almost all the girls thought it was stupid and all the guys thought it was hilarious, and I never really
clicked in,
realized that the gender difference with that type of humor. I know.
How dare you? The genders are different. How
That's the sexiest thing I've ever heard you say.
both genders are entirely the same. No differences, nothing.
Nothing.
Why do we even name them differently? I can't see any differences at all.
Where did it even come from? We obviously know that guys are the same as girls.
Calling them boys and girls? I mean, that was just to divide us. Why did they even have to come up with separate names for them?
They're trying to break us apart, guys.
The men just wanted to do that because there was more girls than guys, and they were
like,
offended.
They were like, well, we're gonna call them guys and call them girls, and that'll be a way to keep them down and oppressed, so they can't rise up. I used to do this to Tim, and I think he liked it sometimes and hated it other times. But I'd love to do it for the entire podcast, but I won't. But essentially what I do is find a way...
So we don't get sued.
I would find a way to get offended at anything he says.
Right.
He would be like,
Please
Mitchell, he'd be like, Mitchell, you're beautiful. And I'm like, oh, are you saying that because you think I'm not self-confident?
Oh.
Or you'd be like, no, Mitchell, you have tons of self-confidence.
Right.
Like, I don't even need to tell you you're beautiful. You know that. Oh, so you don't want to tell me I'm beautiful. Is that what we're...
So
like,
anything he said was going to be the wrong thing.
yeah, exactly.
You
Like
can take
100%.
offense.
And that's kind of how it is.
Right.
Like anything people say, other people can find offensive. I like how they're having their own conversation.
I know. It's so
It's
weird.
like it's almost
Don't
like
kill
it's
the conversation. You guys are
the
doing
boys
great.
and the bad boys. You're the bad boys.
You're
I'm
the
a
bad boys.
The bad
boys.
See, they're trying to break us apart again.
Yeah.
They're coming after us.
You
all.
were trying to break us apart because you started your own secondary
Look, I
conversation.
thought this was supposed to be like The Hangover. You guys just love on us no matter what.
Why don't you love us?
What were you guys saying all whispery over there?
I have no idea. Oh, we were talking about just
The
cutting out
vlog.
some of the things.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Just
We should cut any of it. Leave it all in.
well, the point is
Well,
that we
no.
just have a conversation
Yeah.
and then
no, the different.
edit it out.
Yeah, of course. But
I
the
haven't
only
heard-
thing-
I'm probably not
anything
cutting
bad.
this out, though.
I haven't heard anything bad
That's
in it.
because you've been surrounded by so much, like, worse stuff. Remember that? Sorry, it's a sermon today.
How dare you?
The sermon today was he was talking. One of the parts he was talking about was like being surrounded by so much worse stuff that the not as worse stuff still like seems okay.
Well,
but
not
it's,
really, but
like,
that's what Tim got from it.
No, I'm saying one part of it.
Yeah.
One part of it, he talked about that oftentimes we're surrounded by so much worse stuff that the less worse stuff seems like not as bad and it's okay. Like
Right.
he was talking
We
about
just shrug it
drunkenness.
off.
A lot of Christians, they're like, oh well, maybe once a year I can go get drunk on Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, but then he's like, well, yo, like. It's wrong if you're gonna do it. Just stand up for yourself and be like, "Yeah, I did it. It's wrong." You know,
Drinking
Be
is
straight up.
wrong.
No.
Dancing is evil. Dancing leads to the pole.
I am tired of people
No,
bringing
the
coffee
Pope,
into the church.
Sorry, dancing
Oh.
leads to the Pope.
Oh my goodness.
So, anyways, we were just talking about.
Let's not explain that reference.
We were just talking about. I like a lot of this like is stuff that I wouldn't want to just like let everyone see because I know several people that'll be like, what?
So
You
what
were
you're
okay
saying,
with other people in the room talking about that?
so what you're saying
just
is
feel
you don't want
uncomfortable.
people to see parts of yourself.
No, I mean like sharing this with people that would get the humor,
Well,
like the
we
humor
don't
that we
even
leave
need
in.
to share it with them.
Yeah.
You share it.
You just
People
put it out
that
in the
want to
world.
listen to it
Yeah.
can listen to it. If they don't like
Because
it, they don't
this is
listen
who
to
we
it.
are. And
Yeah, when you're trying
Well,
to specifically
I'm not
hide
saying-
things,
I'm
like,
not saying hide it. I'm saying just
cut it out.
No, not cut it out. Leave it in and give it to people. Like share it with people
Right.
that aren't like. Because if we just share it on our Facebook wall,
Mm-hmm.
I know someone that'll look at it, and because and it's like
yeah. I understand what you're saying.
and so I'm just saying, can we like I know people that won't necessarily understand why I would be okay with being in a conversation where certain things were said.
But
and
what
that I
if we
didn't
what
leave.
if we said that has been inappropriate?
We're all drunkards.
I think there were. Well, I want to say, but we'll just say that every time anything bad was said, Tim wasn't here.
Let's just announce
Let's
that, even
just-
though you can hear my voice.
Let's
in
just
the
lie.
background. Tim
Because
was
I'll make it
not
better.
here today. He just showed up. Hey, Tim.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. Anyway.
I think
Or
for
even-
Chris, the thing he felt awkward about was Boob Brothers.
No,
No.
I don't
You
care.
love the Boo Brothers?
We did Boo Brothers. I
We
probably
did it.
chose Boo Brothers
You
because I
did.
thought it was hilarious. Left
And it
boob, right
was.
boob. I saw it before and I was like, that would be amazing for YouTube and stuff.
But it's like that's not something that we're creating right now. It's something that is like realistic of the past.
Yeah, exactly.
We've
That's the
done
thing.
that.
All of these things are things that we're talking about that happen, not things that
no.
are who we are. Unless, I mean, I'm a bully. I will go to that guy's house and
Someday.
tell him what I really think.
Yeah. Remember
So
me?
maybe I am.
I'm
Just
the
don't
fat
get beat
kid
up.
with the basketball. No, but I mean, I think that I think like this is sort of like a part of a more general topic, but it sort of segues into it, is that I think that we have to be careful not to censor ourselves to the point where we're not being who we are. And also, as for people listening, if they disagree with something that we're talking about,
We'd love to read
they're
on the
allowed to have a different point of view. Like, I think that there's so much, like, just in society in general, there's so much, like, so
Thinks
much, like,
one way.
yeah, and it's like, you can't, like, there's some people who can't handle having an opposing point of view expressed. And like that taps into what we've talked about like safe rooms, and you know, if you're like, you know, uncomfortable with a conversation, or someone in a lecture hall is speaking about something that might be controversial, and if you disagree with it or it makes you uncomfortable, oh well, we have a safe room where you can go color and watch videos of rainbows and puppy dogs, and then it takes away the element of learning how to deal with forming your own thoughts and disagreeing and having a conversation about why you disagree. And it's a part of a
Learning
life skill.
to love each other in it.
Yes, because there's a lot of things that I disagree with you guys on, not just you guys, but other people too.
Yeah, mainly just me. No, joking.
But like, I can still love you.
yeah.
I can still appreciate you. You know, we can.
Yeah, what am I understand
You know,
what you're saying.
We have to. You know, we
If
still
you
have
don't
to be
agree
who we
with
are.
everything that I happen to think and believe, then you don't love me.
I'm not.
Point is, like, I am genuinely sorry that clearly upset you. I saw that your eyes were tearing up, and so I'm really sorry, Chris. I had no idea that affected you, but that was me responding to my own insecurities about being teased for my chin, and it didn't really have anything to do with you, except that I was always a little bit afraid of you and Tim, because I never knew what was going to come out of your mouth, and so I was always a little bit on edge, because I was like, what are they going to say about me? Now I don't have that fear, because I've learned to sort of adjust my expectations of children and like...
And accept yourself?
And, well...
You told me you accept yourself more.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously, and because I'm aware, it's not like I'm like trying to be like, oh my gosh, don't anybody notice I'm fat? Of course you're gonna notice I'm fat, because I'm fat. That's a reality thing, you know. So somebody pointing it out to me is not. Someone pointing it out to me isn't gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It's like the fat kid with the basketball. It's like,
You know what's even worse?
yeah. So that's observance. Like,
And
and so when I'm not taking it personally, and I'm not seeing it as an insult, where you probably making fun of my chin.
Oh, I wasn't.
You were making fun of my chin.
I was trying. I even
Yeah.
thought about it. Like, I remember this because
Yeah.
it all kind of. Like, I was trying to think how to say this, because like I actually wanted to compliment you on your chin.
Oh.
So I even thought about it and said it just right, and then just
a couple times.
and then just.
And then what did I
got
say?
Something
Yeah.
that just really hurt, and just
Oh,
like,
pumpkin, I'm
how
sorry.
dare you or whatever, and it's like, I just tried to compliment you.
Oh, honey, give me a hug. I'm so sorry that hurt you.
People are healing here on the
This
Boys
is what
Blog.
healing
So
looks
sorry
like.
that hurt
Hugs
you.
and love.
You can see it.
This is the end of. Wait, why do we have to?
We should have wrapped up our conversation
Okay.
and said, you know
We don't need to have silent time for. Well, you've got to the end of podcast 1. No, you just said, okay, bye, guys.
Yeah, well, we didn't do. We just
Yeah.
cut our
Yeah,
time
no,
off.
So we
you
need
know
to do
what?
that
We had
now.
a good conversation about, like, just to wrap up the conversation, we
Yeah.
talked about, well, this is for the second one. The first one.
Jeez.
And
Oh
so
my
just
God.
Poor Chris is gonna be going crazy for this.
Okay.
I'll be like, do I cut this? Is this for podcast 1, 2? Literally, I'll be making my own podcast by
Okay.
switching around the different conversations.
Podcast one.
Talking about.
We didn't really wrap it up, is what I'm saying. So
Oh,
just
Yeah,
say
but
it.
let's just talk about what we said. We talked
Wait,
about.
yeah.
We talked about.
But we don't know where I'm cutting it.
I think this should all be one
Yeah.
podcast.
No, I'm just talking a little bit about the beginning of what we talked
Some
about, which
podcasts
is
are 2
which is
hours
basically
long.
we
I know,
talked
but this
about
is like
Yeah.
the
intro.
fat
You
kid
don't wanna
bouncing
kill
a
me.
basketball.
Yes.
I do.
We talked about
Like insults, how they affected us.
insults
um,
and
But
stuff
then
like that.
Did we continue that in the second podcast, or is that?
No, that
We
well,
haven't
it's a
started
little.
our-
It's a little bit of everything. So, anyways, we
I had a
talked
pretty
about
bad one when I was
interesting
younger.
stuff. Hope you guys liked it. Listen to us next time. I was gonna say watch us next time.
Yeah, we have no
And,
idea when this will come up, but we'll have a second one
Yeah.
because we
If you-
recorded for a long time, so we'll make it into 2 different podcasts.
If you've hung in with us this long, you're
Respect.
amazing. Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
So,
we give you props because this was our first shot. So thanks, guys.
so catch us a bit later.